What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Batman issue number 148. This one is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jorge Jimenez. And I will say one positive at the get-go, there are no backups in this thing. It just straight up tells the story. There's kind of a preview for another issue thing, but no backups. So kudos to that. And I also got to say, this is kind of a complaint on mine. Like, literally all of Twitter spoiled this entire issue a few days before it even released, because Bleeding Cool or whatever gets the panels ahead of time and they like to post everything, and I'm just like, can't you wait until the day of? Can't I be surprised when stuff like this happens? And it's not like just one or two accounts, like literally everyone was spoiling this entire issue beforehand, and I'm like, the issue's not even out yet. Like, come on, can't you wait a little bit? Like, do you have this need to post things first? So that's my little nitpick complaint about Twitter sometimes. I mean, comic book Twitter can be genuinely pretty awful at times, but that was just something that just kind of annoyed me, because I didn't even get the chance to read the issue yet, and I kind of log in, because, you know, I have friends that I just chat with and, you know, share all sorts of memes and stuff, and of course, when I log in, first thing I see, spoilers, 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 spoilers. I'm like, the issue's not even freaking out yet. It won't be out till today. You have to just be the one to share everything, and then little bits were blown out of proportions, and then there's like, oh, that actually happened, like, no, this is the end, oh, wait a minute, there's this context here, yeah, that's what I mean, like, wait for the issue, like, why can't we wait till the whole thing's out before blasting the various DC Comics decisions? So, yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. Couldn't even wait till the day of the issue to start, you know, throwing spoilers out there. It had to be a few days beforehand, because Bleeding Cool has to share everything. So, yeah, that annoyed the hell out of me, because, like I said, there would have been some neat surprises, like, as I was reading it, but no, we have to spoil the whole thing. So anyways, as I go and I talk about this issue, like I said, we'll get a summation of the plot. There are spoilers in this video, so be warned. Obviously, they're setting things up for absolute power, and this is kind of the conclusion of this arc right now, but it doesn't fully feel, it feels like there's still a lot of kind of lingering threads going on, but we kind of are hopefully done with the Xur stuff. I know Failsafe's going to play a factor into absolute power based on, you know, the Free Comic Book Day issue and some of the stuff coming out, but at least it seems like we're kind of finished with the Xur situation, and we kind of wrapped up a little bit with Captio, but I'm sure they're going to kind of mold into Waller's plans, because she does appear in the issue. So let's talk about what happened. So issue opens up with flashbacks to a young Bruce Wayne and his mentor Captio, about him training and stuff. Bruce also goes to his other little bat cave here. Chip Zdarsky is the writer on this thing. Jorge Jimenez is on the artwork, and it's basically the Bat family coming together. They're going to rescue Damian from Xur, Failsafe, whatever, and his new Robin, who we do find out is in fact a clone of a younger Bruce Wayne. So he cloned him. Like, a clone of him exists now, which is kind of, is this character going to kind of show up in comics from now on? Or they, like, because they kind of are arrested, sort of, but it's kind of a strange thing. But yeah, so this is a young Bruce and a young Damian interacting. Well, it's a clone of him, but still that. Damian's there. He talks about how he's going to kill him, but he's really kind of like biding time and distracting, using Morse code in his thing to kind of let everyone know where he's at. But of course, he kind of gets, you know, zapped, and, you know, Failsafe Xur or whatever is working with Captio, and now they're going to start the little experimentation things. Mayor Nakano is there, and he works with, you know, new Commissioner Vandal Savage, who just kind of like got thrown into the whole thing many issues ago, and they're going to kind of lead a charge on Blackgate to kind of take out these robots and stuff. Bat Family's there is like, oh, we kind of have to work with them. So then Bruce kind of unites with the various members of the Bat Family to kind of work together. Riddler is the first one subjected to Captio's machine to kind of take away that means of him to kind of be obsessive with Batman. So they're experimenting on the Riddler, so we'll have to wait and see what kind of lingering effects that has on him. I'm sure it won't last forever, whatever they do. Then the Bat Family unites. Bruce apologizes for his various actions. They kind of quickly brush aside the stuff about, you know, his Xur personality, like brainwashing Jason all the way back in Gotham War. Remember that really terrible storyline? So that's that. I mean, it's Bruce like, oh, you know, I was like doing bad things, the whole Xur thing, and that was bad news. And, you know, let's make up for the stuff. But the family's all there when they need to be. Then Waller is brought in because they got to bring in some reinforcements with the United States government to kind of take down all these robots and stuff. So that's where Waller's going to come in later on, I'm sure, in absolute power and take over Failsafe, repurpose it for her own mission. Then we get Batman versus Xur. So And, this is the same robot that kind of took down the Justice League way back when. So how are they going to do it? Well, because he's Batman, he has a way. So then they get in all these different fights. Tim shows up. He's like, oh, aren't you grateful that I'm here to save you? And then Damian immediately calls him an idiot because he allowed himself to kind of be attacked and such because, it's Tim. He couldn't miss an opportunity to kind of get one in on Damian for some reason because, they have kind of a, more of probably between the brothers, it's, the more hostile of the relationships, but they're getting better at it. So, and come to think of it, we haven't really had much like Damian and Tim focused storylines in quite a while. It's usually Damian with Dick. Damian had a lot of issues with Jason, but you really don't get those two all that often. It's usually Dick and everyone else. Like him and Jason, him and Tim, or him and Damian. Dick's the one who interacts with everyone the most. But you don't really get too much of these two, like, as much anymore. I feel like we have gotten stuff with Jason and Tim not too long ago. I can't quite recall. But anyway, so there's that. They get in the fight, and then eventually, they're able to kind of take out this clone Robin of Bruce. So now that Bruce is kind of like a Robin for the first time, at least this clone version of him, I wonder if they'll, like, play a factor into later stuff. So anyways, that's going on there. Then, of course, we get to the big thing where Jason Todd dies in this issue. Yeah, that's kind of the big spoiler thing. That's what everyone was throwing spoilers out ahead of the issue, and everyone was like, oh my god, they killed Jason yet again. What the hell is going on here? Yada, yada, yada. But then, like, he's immediately brought back because he used Lazarus resin that he kind of had in his costume. So the plan was for Bruce to kind of let himself die because that was like if failsafe kind of killed somebody, then the program would shut down. So that's kind of one of the things he does. And, you get the hug, you get the reunions and all that stuff. Damian, who was dumb to fall for the fact that the robot was his father, and now that his actual dad is back, it's like, oh, father, and that you're back and all that. Like, yeah, you didn't write him the best. But anyways, like I said, Captio is kind of there. He tried to use a little mind control thing on Bruce, like this kind of trigger word that he implanted, but the Bat Family came in, kicked his ass, and they kind of go off into the distance, leaving everything kind of lingering. So we don't know what happened to Bruce's clone. I guess he's still kind of apprehended there. Maybe Waller's going to take him in. The failsafe robot is still there. Obviously the government was kind of on their tail, but it's kind of the end of the Xur stuff, maybe. I hope. Failsafe will still play a factor because we know of absolute power. But the ending conclusion, because like this is kind of billed as like a finale to this sort of arc, and it does feel a little bit quick. Maybe absolute power had something to do with it, but at the same time, I'm just kind of ready to be over the whole Xur stuff. Like the faster we get away from that stuff, the better in my eyes. There is some really great artwork because, it's Jorge Jimenez. He's one of the most talented artists at DC Comics. I can never really complain about his artwork. The way people kind of blew the stuff out of proportions with Jason dying. Well, Jason technically does die, but, he had the Lazarus resin there to kind of bring him back instantaneously. It was just kind of a means to kind of stop the failsafe robot. And Bruce was going to use this on himself, but Jason kind of stepped up. I feel like we kind of brushed over like the Bruce's Xur personality kind of taking over and brainwashing Jason. He's like, it is what it is. We'll be cool. Like, I feel like that should have been, kind of not brushed aside as quickly given what, Xur Batman kind of did, but they explain, that's Xur Batman, and, Bruce said that still was a part of him, like his darkness within him, and hopefully now that that's pushed out, we can kind of move past it. We can get into some more exciting Batman-focused stuff. We can get the characters written just a little bit better, because like I said, Damian in this wasn't written to be very smart. Well, under Zdarsky, a lot of the Bat Family has been written to be kind of dumb. Now, they do kind of explain it is a bit of the Xur personality, but you still had the whole Gotham War storyline, and I just did not dig Gotham War at all. I don't think anybody really did, where the Bat Family is like, oh, we should maybe let crime happen. It's not good at all. But like, how is this issue on its own? I think this issue is, totally fine. I think it's one of the stronger ones in this run. Like I said, the artwork is quite good by Jorge. You get a lot of action. You get a lot of, like, cool moments in there. You get some reveals about, like I said, the Xur clone, or the Robin clone is a young Bruce. So does that character just kind of, like, because they kind of just left him. But now that they're going to see that's a young Bruce Wayne, wouldn't that just alert everyone that, hey, this is Bruce Wayne as Batman and such? Or maybe it's just because Waller's going to be there and Waller already knows everything. But then you have the whole Xur fail-safing that's kind of left ambiguous. I do wonder what they're going to do with that clone, though, because it is a clone. And how will Bruce react to, like, a clone of himself that's, like, a younger version of him? Like, will he join the Bat Family at some point, or is this character going to kind of die off? So, like, to me, I'm more interested in what's going on with, the clone of a young Bruce Wayne as Robin. So I actually think it's the first time Bruce has ever been Robin, in a way. At least a version of him is. So that's kind of interesting. And it is nice to see the Bat Family always teaming up and stuff, because they're always, I feel like they're always kind of fighting. It just goes on and on and on, and it'll be nice to have a more united Bat family front instead of some of these like forced conflicts that just feel like we've kind of been there, done that, in a sense. So we got this. Detective Comics is kind of wrapping itself up. And then we got the Absolute Power event. But kind of after that, I want to go back to some simple Batman stories that are just kind of fun and absolute must-read stuff. Because this whole Zur and Oz stuff, I've never been a huge fan of. I don't really think it was all that necessary for Batman to have this other personality within him that becomes a robot and fights against him. I just and like Joker's in on it too, and he kind of ties their backstories in that capacity, and like that's why he's always been able to kind of like do all sorts of stuff in that. And I'm just like, you're kind of muddying the waters a little bit. Sometimes Joker's origin and Batman's origin shouldn't be as intertwined, I think, at least in that sense. Because I mean, there's been instances like standalone media, like the '89 Batman film, which I really like that film and the way they had Batman and Joker's origins, because like, but I also kind of understand, like, that's a movie and they don't have years of source material to kind of draw from. And it's, you know, we've kind of learned since then, maybe that doesn't always work in the capacity. I mean, it's fine for that movie, like one standalone film, but for the long-term Batman and Joker thing, I wouldn't necessarily want the Joker to be one to kill Batman's parents. So, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on quite a bit in this thing. So, I did, like I said, the fact that people spoiled the whole thing, which I guess is what I'm kind of doing in this video, but I'm not going to give away big stuff in the thumbnail. Like, this is a video discussing it. I'm not going to be posting it, like, a few days beforehand. It just, that kind of irks me a little bit, because it's like, wow, you kind of ruined some of the moments in the issue. Like, there could have been a moment where, like, oh, they actually killed Jason off. Like, what the hell's happening here? But then to see him come back. So, a lot of that was kind of blown out of proportion. So, that just kind of irks me. Like, you can't even wait till the day of the issue's out to kind of talk about this stuff. So, yeah, that annoyed me. So, but no backups this time, so I'm appreciative of that. It seems we were kind of done with at least this part of the storyline, and maybe, like I said, I think it's going to lead in Absolute Power, and we can get some fun Batman-related stuff again after that event. So I'm just ready for like kind of a fresher start for the character. So I think Zdarsky's going to still stick around for a little bit more, but I mean, the Batman books really haven't been hitting the high marks I feel like they should be, because this is Batman. This is your premier flagship title at DC, and you don't really feel like the excitement from like the majority of readers at this point. And it's not like Zdarsky isn't talented. He's written some good stuff before, but this Batman run has not really been the best showcasing for the character. So but we'll see how it all turns out in the near future. I don't know whoever takes over Batman next. I want a really good mainline Batman book. I feel like we haven't had that since Rebirth. At least, like I said, in the main Batman title. Detective Comics, I liked what Tomasi was doing, and, you know, some of the Tynion stuff wasn't half bad, but, I mean, in terms of just the main Batman book at DC, the flagship title, I like, because we had Tom King, then we had Tynion take over, and then I think Williamson did a little arc there, and then Zdarsky and that, but, like, it should be better than what it is. So, yeah. All right, well, I've rambled on long enough. What did you think of Batman issue 148? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. I got one more comic book review, which I will get out later on today. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.